Alright, now, so after a brief hiatus, I'm back. We're working on the bobber again, and I'm going to be painting it this time. A lot of you guys have seen me do this process several times before on past bikes, but what I'm doing now is just draining the tank. Then I might even let it sit for a day to get all the fumes out and everything, let everything evaporate out so it'll be safe to paint. While I wait for the tank to dry out, I can start detabbing these emblems here because I'm not going to be using these Spectre emblems. So I can carefully detab them and maybe save them for later for a later bike, because I'll be putting a big Kawasaki K right here. After I take these off, which basically just involves popping these little clips here, I'll need to put a little bit of Bondo in here and cover up the holes, because I'm going to want this to be a nice flat surface. Mixing up a little bit of Bondo in my hands. Don't need very much. Just going to fill in these little holes. Just blacked out the motor. I think it looks pretty good. Use this high temperature black paint. Should dry fairly flat black. And I'm going to use some one touch to accent a couple of things in gold. Also flat blacked the exhaust there. So we're rocking right along. Primer's down on the side panels. The tank is a day behind as the Bondo dries, but that'll just give me a couple more opportunities to stay on track as I put a couple layers of primer down and sand it and make it all real smooth. So these are dry. I'm going to sand them down and prep them for paint. While I'm waiting for all that to dry, I plasti dipped the brake and clutch handles. Pretty nifty stuff. I just started using it. Haven't used it to paint yet, but pretty impressed so far. Alright, so now that everybody's primed, I'm going to let this dry and then start laying down some color. Alright, about to lay down some gold. Got my two colors here, gold metallic and pearl white. I'm going to start out with the gold, mix in the pearl white slowly until we get something which is more or less how the CB wants to be, judging by the stock color on the tank. Then I'm going to spray all four side panels here. And the CB ones will just be straight gold, and the ones for the bobber are going to be stenciled, and then I'm going to spray them again with black. So here we go. You know, I'm always really impressed by the richness of the colors that this paint provides. So these are vinyl Kawasaki stickers that I bought off eBay. They're the type of stickers that you put on the back window of your car or truck if you're really vain about the type of bike that you ride. Just like that. But what I use them for is paint stencils. So I'm going to affix them to the side panels, more or less where I want the gold Kawasaki to be. Spray it all down with black and then peel them off. Sand down a couple of imperfections, and I'm going to lay down another layer of black. Hopefully tomorrow should be the clear coat, and then we'll be done. Well, that was a fucking disappointment. I'm not sure exactly where I went wrong. Either I didn't put enough or too much reducer in the gold, or the stickers were too sticky or whatever, but it just peeled the gold right off. So that sucks. Yeah, I mean, I've been painting this bike all week. I'm basically done with it. I think I'm just going to sand this down and paint it all black. Maybe in the springtime I'll put the K's on. Or maybe I'll just find some gold K stickers, you know, and that'll be done. But I've got bikes outside that need to come in out of the weather. I'm ready to move on from this stage of the project, so I'm just going to paint it black for now. Which, you know, will be good enough. So right now I'm going to be sanding down, painting another layer of black, and then clear coat tomorrow. So I'm sitting here all grumpy and pissy about the way that those sticker stenciling ended up. And then lo and behold, ye old bugler to my rescue. Totally forgot about this old guy. Haven't touched it in a year, as you can see. But yeah, this makes me feel good. I've got my bugler. I've got my metallic gold one-shot, which I bought weeks ago because I wanted to do some filling in on the letters on the engine. But I'm like, shit, man. Why don't I just fire up the old bugler? Maybe I can figure out how to write a cursive K on those side panels, or just do some classy pinstripes on them or something. So I think that'll be what I do in a couple days once this final layer of black dries and the clear coat dries. I'll whip out the bugler and jazz it up a little bit. But for now, I've got my pinstripe brushes over there, and I'm going to be working on the letters on the engine cases. This one's a little bit smaller than the other side, so it's a little bit more difficult. I like this type of stuff. I like this real fine work, you know, cosmetic work and stuff like this. Cosmetics are probably the one part of motorcycle maintenance that I'm worst at. Well, I don't know, I wouldn't say worst, but most inexperienced. Definitely willing to learn and willing to try new things. Never worked with a brush before. It's occurring to me that this might not even be a pinstriping brush. The guy at the store said it was, but I think it's probably just a regular fucking brush. It's doing its job though. I don't know. It's been an exciting month for old Max. I got hired here in the District of Columbia to be a paramedic, which will be cool. I got into paramedicine just for this type of stuff, just for this type of environment. You know, a busy city. So I've never really worked in a busy city before, and I'm really looking forward to it. So right now I'm going through the pre-hiring process, getting all my medical tests out of the way, and they do a psychological exam on me to make sure I'm not a serial rapist. But yeah, I should start a little bit later in the month. So that's cool. I've had a bunch of really cool bikes come through here. Three-wheeler, and y'all saw the KZ1100. I still have that one. So yeah, it's been a neat little time. Gotta say, I'm not entirely a fan of the new YouTube rules, the new policies on having to link it to Google Plus and everything. But if YouTube has taught me anything, it's that you gotta roll with the punches. You gotta bend over when Google says take it. You gotta bend over, because they know how much they've hooked us. You know, there's no competitors. It's not like I'm gonna take my videos somewhere else. So every time they change it, you know, I'm always pissed off about it, but I always learn to deal with it. Pretty good. There we go. So it's all finally painted, clear coated, dried. Everything's good to go. I'm going to experiment a little bit with the bugler, maybe snazz it up a little bit with some gold pinstriping, and then slap it on the bike, and we'll be good to go. So you guys give me a day or two, and we'll be ready for our final unveiling. In the meantime, the CB is going to come back in the garage from its long expulsion out under the tarp, and I can get started on that.